What up, people? Today I got a story time for you. I'm just talk about a couple things real quick. So the first thing I'm gonna talk about is my mom bought this HP in April. One day she went to turn it on and it wasn't working. It started saying no hard drive missing. So she tried it, she ran the test, it didn't work. She came to me and asked me to do it. I turned it on, I clicked and turned it on. It immediately came up to the screen that says no hard drive detected. Ran the little screen, ran the little test to see if the hard drive was working, it didn't work. Called HP, talked to the service support rep, and they walked me through running the same test. He was like, okay, computer ain't working, send it in so we can repair it. They get the computer, the laptop, on October the 1st. Now, the last update I got was October the 1st. So we waiting for the laptop to return, and in the notes it says, estimated time for laptop return to be October the 13th. We waited, nothing. So I ended up calling because my mom asked me to call because pretty much everything is in her name, but I had all the information. So I called and I asked, was there any updates? So the rep said there was no update, sir. So I said, can you please put it in the notes to have them to update us and call? And he was like, well, in the notes it said it's supposed to be delivered tomorrow. So he was like, okay, we'll wait a day or two to see if it comes. If we don't hear anything, then we'll call you back. So we waited, nothing. Called back Thursday. And on Thursday we called back and because they never called us. They never called, they never updated the notes. This October the 1st was the last time we got notes. October the 15th is when I called for the second time. And the rep at first was like, oh, there's no notes. And we were like, is there notes about the guy supposedly telling you guys to call? And he was like, oh yeah, those are in there. But we still never heard anything. In the middle of him talking to my mom, he says, oh ma'am, I'm gonna have to send you to our manager, because in the notes, the IT department had just put in the notes that all of a sudden the computer had water damage. Now, I'm like, if the computer had water damage, why did it take them 14 days to say anything? And we had to call them. Plus, it didn't have water damage because the computer turned on. So we turned that thing on like 10 times before it left the house. So we talked to the manager and the manager says, oh, he talked to my mom and he said, we can't refund you your money or fix this because it's outside of the policy because it's water damage. And we go looking, so he sends the pictures. On the pictures, the battery is not the same. They don't even have the full product number in the pictures. So I like send him a text and say, can you please send the pictures? And what about the service call where the rep said he walked me through turning on the computer and running the test? Also, what about, it was something else I asked for. And I was like, call this number at this time, right? So we waited, the dude didn't call. Then the next day he called, and being that my mom wasn't here, I told him to call back within an hour. He did not call back. I called him, said nothing. And he said, then he sent the pictures. I looked at the pictures and I'm like, that can't be the laptop that we just got because she just got it. That laptop looked like somebody, it looked old and used. So, long story short, while we doing all this stuff, the guy started saying that we can't get it back. So, my mom did some research and we're gonna have to send it back through Assuring through Walmart because she got the service plan. I'm just saying, don't ever buy an HP from them. They don't treat their customers right. And this is how I know that they had something to do with that, because when that laptop left, it was dry. Now, I can understand if it was water damage because the day of, there was no water. We literally lifted it up, looked under it, no water. Turned it on. It don't come on if it was water damage. So I pretty much got to a point where just send the laptop back, man, because I don't want to sit here and hear that your service techs spilt water on it Somebody spilled water on it after it left here. We didn't do it, but because it was not sticky. The notes, every key, all that stuff, all them keys worked, and they pretty much try to blame us for something that they know was their fault. Like, it was already done because the hard drive was gone. But to say there's water damage when there was no water damage because the damn thing turned on. Not to mention, we had it plugged up. If it was water damage, when we plugged it up, there would be some kind of smoke, there would be some kind of electrical reaction. There was nothing. So I said, man, that don't make sense. You talking to a tech and he really didn't want to hear what I had to say. So I'm never buying an HP. I'm just letting y'all know, if you bought an HP and something happened to it, just know you're gonna be in for that BS, for real. Now, my second story time this morning, or this afternoon, or whenever this is, I get off of work and I go to the bus stop. And I go to another bus stop because the bus stop I usually go to, the seat be jacked up and stuff be on it, or people be over there smoking. And I don't really deal with people smoking. So I go around the corner to sit down because it's three shelters. Out of the last 6 times, 3 times of the last 6 times, crazy people have been coming over there. Like one time it was this lady and she didn't even have on a top. It was some kind of little, I don't know what the hell it was, but it was some kind of little top that pretty much her business was out. And she had all these bags and she was just, what's going on? What's happening? Hey, y'all know what everybody just kind of looking at her like, what the hell is going on with this lady? So she eventually got on the bus and the bus driver ended up telling her she on the wrong bus, and I don't know, she was doing a whole lot. Everybody kind of moved from her. The next time it was, and all of these people have been white people. It's been white people. And the second 2 was dudes. One guy came up and asked me when the bus was coming, and I told him. And then he stepped back and started talking to himself. And while he was talking to himself, I'm just like, okay, I don't know what's happening. And next thing I know, dude came over there and pretty much he just did a drug deal. I didn't say nothing. I just got up and walked away. And the last time, I was sitting there last night, I was sitting there looking at my phone, waiting on the bus, and this guy comes up and said, hey man, dude, when is the next bus coming? And I was like, it should be coming soon. And he was like, I was yelling for it to stop, but it didn't stop. It had garage on it. So if you're not at the bus stop when the buses have garage on it come, you won't get on the bus because they take off. They don't stop for nobody. So I told him my answer and I started to look down, but I noticed that he was a little closer than he should be. So I looked up and I'm like, I just put my phone down and I'm thinking like, I don't know what he's doing, but he's a little too close. So he started like moving and not moving. Like it was erratic. Like he pacing, pretty much like a pacing, but it wasn't a normal pacing. So thinking to myself, I had just texted my friend, I'm not coming back to this bus stop. It is way too much stuff going on. So anyway, as I'm sitting there, he starts talking and he asked me about football and I was like, yo, I don't really watch football. And he's like, why? And I tell him because of the concussion thing that the NFL paid doctors and all these people off to hide from the public, right? And he was like, what is that? So I tell him what it is. I explain the whole concussion situation and he just kind of looked at me like, so you would think he will walk off by now, right? No, he's still standing there. So he's standing there and and I'm just like, okay, now I'm not looking down. I'm gonna just stand up and walk around because he's like a little close because it's 3 shelters and the other 2 are nobody sitting there. So I'm thinking he'll just walk over there and sit down. No, he's just standing there looking at me. So he says, what time is it? And I tell him it's 9:25. And like he kind of walks off where I couldn't see him. So I stand up and walk to the edge of the sidewalk because I'm like, man, this bus is taking a long time to get here. And I'm pretty much don't want to be around this dude no more, right? So he says he's going south to Pinellas County because I'm in because we was at the Tarpon bus stop. And I'm like, okay, so I'm thinking, I was like, all right, the bus will be here soon. I turn around and this dude walked he walked way off. Pretty much he walked off. And it made me go like, okay, I already said I'm not coming back, but that really confirmed it. That made no sense. Like, and that's done happened, and that's not even just that bus stop. That's done happened to me since I've been riding the bus in the last 2 years. There's been people I have came to the bus stop and people have been smoking weed at the bus stop in broad daylight. I think both of them was one of them was young and the other one was older. And there's been people that's been talking to themselves and like talking with a whole conversation. You know, everybody talk to themselves, but everybody don't answer themselves. These people have been answering themselves and other crap. And then after last night and the times before that, I'm just like, yo, I'm just gonna go to the bus stop closest to where I need to be at. And I'm just, if I gotta stand up, I'm gonna stand. I always stand up, but I wanted to sit down because of my job. But never mind, I just stand up and stay close to where I need to be because these people and these encounters that I've been having lately on these buses or around the buses, craziness. So anyway, thank you for listening. Have a great day. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm out. Peace.